Engaging Adult Learners in Learning by Otis L. E. III, American College of Education. This is my original capstone contribution. Summary of project. This presentation will take you on a journey of the history, the theorist, characteristics, and principles, best matched learning theory, and a personal reflection by me on adult learning. Adult learners, this presentation is for adult learners within my work organization. This presentation will be shared as a resource for the entire organization, but will be more geared towards those who create learning experiences for adults. The logistics. This module presentation was created for several reasons. One, for a train the trainer tool for those in my job who understand very little about adult learners, as I did before I started with ACE. Two, for best practices to share as a resource with the entire organization. And three, as a springboard for my company to change culture around adult learning experiences. Connection to ACE coursework. The reason I chose to create this multimedia presentation as my original contribution is because I've always been fascinated with the way the adults learn. I realized through my program at ACE that I was creating learning experiences in a vacuum for adult learners because I knew nothing of adults and the way that they learned. This presentation will cover the definition and history of andragogy, the identification of adult learners, a summary, and in closing, a personal reflection on this topic. According to Wikipedia 2019, Alexander Kapp created the term andragogy in 1833. Broken down, ANDR means man, and ARAGOS means leader of. Andragogy therefore means leading man. Andragogy was developed into a theory of adult education by Eugene Rosenstock-Huessy, and andragogy later became very popular in the U.S. by the American educator Malcolm Knowles around 1967. According to Tough 1985, amidst debate, clarification, challenge, refutation, and articulation, Knowles' message and principles of andragogy have persisted, and he is the person most known for his adult learning theory in North America. Some have suggested he endures because he speaks of people's experience, articulating a recognizable reality. Whatever the case, there is no denying that his place in the history of adult education is both secure and significant because of his promotion of andragogy. Okay, adult learners are mature. Some of the adults may not have finished high school. Learners who are typically adult learners have finished high school, K through 12, but again, not always. Adult learners come from varied backgrounds, religions, educational backgrounds, income, financial backgrounds, and are very diverse. Typically, again, 18 years or older, but there are circumstances where someone might consider themselves an adult learner much earlier than that. And they are self-achieving and improving by choice. So this is very important as this doesn't always exist in or is not a predominant factor in K through 12. The 7 principles of adult learning are: learners must have a desire to learn. They'll only learn what is necessary. They must have a necessity to learn. They focus on problem solving. They learn best in informal settings. They demand guidance and facilitation but equal partnership in their learning experiences. And they learn by doing or taking actions. The theories provide information about the relationships among strategies, context, and learner characteristics for better integration, and most importantly, learning theories allow for reliable prediction of the effectiveness of the selected instructional strategies. Here we have a table with at least 3 of the popular learning theories, and of course there are more, but I decided to take behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism and combine those include those side by side. I'm not going to go through the whole table, but I did want to mention that the best for adult learners, I filled out constructivism because that mostly aligns with the adult learning theory, the 7 principles and characteristics of adult learners. They like to have a lot of freedom and in decision making and ownership of their education. So I'll go over the categories just for constructivism, which is the definition of learning is always to find new meaning. Learner role is active. Learner strategy is reflection. Learner activities, authentic learning, reflective thinking, collaboration, and group work. Teaching methods, reflective activities, blogging, collaborative learning, and also group work. Assessment activities, essays, presentations, and reflective blogs, among other tools and strategies for activities. And room for creativity. The room for creativity is very high, and I just wanted to notice or take notice that there's very little to some in cognitivism, and behaviorism there is none. Adult learners come from every type of economical, educational, racial, sexual, ethnic origin, and any other kind of background that you can imagine. We are diverse, but when it comes to how we prefer to learn, we have more in common than we think when it comes to learning. As a result of this program, I have filled in the potholes of my self-learned instructional design theories and methodologies when creating learning experiences for adult learners. I've provided immediate and meaningful and game-changing educational experiences to the adult learners within my job when creating learning experiences, and I've gained a deep understanding of adult learners in general.